Yo, this has been a long week. I haven't made a Knicks video in about 4 games, so I ain't even gonna lie, this video might be all over the place. How my vids usually are, but there's a lot I want to talk about. Knicks have had some cool wins. Even in those wins, people haven't liked the way certain players have performed. And yeah, some frustrating moments like that OKC game. But there's also a lot of conversation going on right now about what's happening with this Knicks offense. Jalen, Brunson, and Karl-Anthony Towns. What's the problem when they face these elite defenses? But before we get into that conversation, let's quickly talk about the last couple games. First, the Knicks beat the Spurs, then they beat the Raptors. And I'm starting to notice a trend. Like once Josh Hart goes to the bench, the Knicks go on a run. That's not a shot at him. It just is what the fuck it is. Does he contribute to the run when he comes back in? Sometimes, yeah. Yes, he does. Most of the time he does, but to start the game, he doesn't need to do that anymore. But anyway, we can talk about some good shit first. I almost hopped straight into the bad shit without even knowing. So yeah, after this long week, I know who I'm starting this off with. My guy, baby Pascal Mo Diawara. I'm trying to think of the last young Knicks player that I was this ecstatic for. Since Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickly, we haven't had that many young prospects. And yeah, I'll say he has a higher ceiling than Quickly and Grimes. So yeah, in total shit, yeah, I haven't seen this much talent from a young Knicks player since Kristaps. I ain't saying he that fucking talented, but yeah, I know what the fuck I mean. But yeah, that's the Knicks' future starting four right there. Mo Diawara. This right here is just nasty works. He should be getting more minutes than that. That's inconsistent. I've just learned to accept that some of these coaches are just assholes. He's a late pick, so his leash isn't as long as an early pick, which makes no fucking sense to me because if you redo that draft, I'm sure Mo Diawara goes in the first round. He should have been given more responsibility as well. Like, we don't see him in any DHOs. He's a very good passer. Like, you don't only have to use Cat as the hub of the offense, you asshole. I know how people like to say we ain't smarter than coaches, but nah, bro. Some of these guys are really they do stupid shit, bro. Diawara is one of the best passers on this team, to be honest. He should be at the top of the key, hubbing at the top of the key. We should be seeing Cat and other guys cut off the ball and set down screens because he can make them reads. What I like most, I actually love this about him, is his processing speed. He's making the right reads, he's making the cross-court passes, he's turning down decent shots for better ones, and that's not something you see from a young player. Matter of fact, it just hit me. He resembles Kyle Anderson a lot. Not necessarily the same type of player, but the same idea. A connector, a guy who understands to keep the offense flowing. Imagine Kyle Anderson with athleticism. Now, I like the way Brunson and Cat have been playing recently. Cat has looked more involved in the defense. I'm seeing him converse more with guys after plays, talking about defensive mishaps. He's been on the boards, and he's been efficient. He's been having some efficient 7 for 11, 8 for 12 nights, 7 for 8 like we seen versus OKC. But yeah, I always feel like we can get more from Cat. Now we gonna hop straight into this OKC game. Forget all the other shit. Okay, Cat going 7 for 8 versus OKC. That's a him problem, of course, and that's where the culture conversation starts. Because if Cat is that efficient, there should be stretches where the offense intentionally runs through him. And that's where Mike Brown comes in. Yeah, this offense doesn't have a lot of clear Cat actions. There aren't many plays where you can say, yeah, that's the set they run to get Cat the ball. Denver runs their offense through Jokic, and Philly runs elbows and post touches constantly. Steph Curry, Golden State, they run split actions around him. Those teams have a clear offensive identity, but the Knicks offense looks like Brunson pick and roll and read the defense. It was supposed to be Cat's the hub of the offense, but Cat is not that kind of player to be the hub of the offense. So the offense winds up reverting back to Brunson pick and roll, read the defense, and the touches become less structured. And it doesn't help that Josh Hart is on the court. OKC had a simple plan that all the good elite teams do. They put wings on Cat and put bigs on Josh Hart. This is just on Mike Brown right here. The same place where Tibbs fell short. This completely flips the matchup advantage. Cat's biggest advantage is simple. If a center guards him, he pulls that big man out to the perimeter or he jogs past him. And the good teams can flip that, of course. They put the wings on Cat and the bigs on Hart. And the Knicks' talent sometimes can overcome that, like it did versus Denver, the Spurs, all these good teams. But that's just limiting the Knicks' ceiling and hoping for a higher floor. The Knicks' biggest advantage is spacing, and that's why they got Cat, and suddenly his spacing advantage disappears when Josh Hart is on the court. Everybody's advantage disappears, actually. But Cat still has most of this responsibility, too. That's what niggas get it fucked up at. He's letting guys like Lou Dort front him, players who are just smaller than him, Kyle Kuzma's of the world, whoever, man. Like, Casey Wallace was guarding him in that OKC game, and if you watch the Knicks all season, Cat just doesn't seal hard enough. He's not up there showing his hands. It looks like he doesn't want the ball. When he gets the mismatches, he's not demanding it. And this is where people start blaming Brunson, who can get some slight blame because he's not a great passer. But the levels I've heard people go to makes no sense. Some point guards, I'm not gonna say point guards, some players control the game differently. Players like Chris Paul, LeBron James, Jokic as an offensive hub, those kind of players manipulate matchups. Brunson is more of a score-first guard who reacts to the defense. So if the defense dictates who gets the shot, Brunson is gonna accept that often. So at the end of the day, when people get mad that Cat didn't have enough touches, this is mostly every game when you see him with them low field goal attempts. He didn't seal aggressively enough. The Knicks offense didn't force touches. Brunson took what the defense gave him, and the lineup spacing allowed that team to manipulate matchups. As simple as that. Or maybe that team defense was just good as fuck. And all of those things can be true at once. So yeah, the real problem is as simple as this. When Josh Hart and Cat share the floor together, the defense can manipulate matchups. For the reasons I said earlier, it takes away from Cat's biggest advantage. And this is where the real debate, which really isn't even a debate for me anymore, begins. Because Hart does a lot of things well. He rebounds. He's an average defender to me. He plays with toughness. He pushes the pace. But in the half-court, teams don't respect his shooting enough, so they sag off of him. And the floor shrinks. And I've been saying this shit since last year. If you've been watching, like I said, it's been a trend that the Knicks have been getting off to bad starts with Josh Hart in the starting lineup. Then when he goes to the bench, they go on the run. Even when they beat the Nuggets, the first quarter told the real story to me. They went down double digits early. The offense stalled. Then eventually the Knicks pulled away. You can't afford to have them stalls in the playoffs. And it just looks like, to me, it's more like talent correcting the problem, not the system solving it. The same issue I had with Tibbs. I'm worried about the playoffs. In the regular season, talent win games. That matters. Hustle lineups survive, but in the playoffs, everything slows down. Every possession becomes a half-court battle. And if one player isn't respected as a shooter, defense will exploit it just how they exploit someone who's a bad defender on an offensive end. So yeah, this isn't just a Brunson problem. Responsibility is shared. Cat needs to seal harder, demand the ball, punish small defenders. Mike Brown needs to design real Cat actions, create stretches where the offense runs through him. Brunson has more responsibility as well, but he's not the main issue. The real question for the Knicks is, do they want to maximize their floor or their championship ceiling? Because Josh Hart raises the floor of this team, but spacing lineup raises the ceiling, and until the Knicks figure that out, this conversation isn't going anywhere.